Good morning everyone, this is the Volvo EX30 and today I'm going to do a range test with it. And problem here is this car that parks right here is the most inefficient EX30 that you can get. This is the all-wheel drive version with 428 horsepower, has the big battery, 69 kilowatt hours, 64 kilowatt hours can be used. I have flies here, and it has 20-inch wheels, so that's really bad for consumption. But this is how press cars arrives with, and full features, every feature that you can have. So it's the heaviest also. I will get the single motor in 2 weeks, but I'm guessing it will also be on 20-inch wheels. But then we can compare twin motor to single motor, but I cannot show you the least consumption, stupid fly, the least consumption that the car can have. Yes, charging here to 100%, I'm at 84 and it still says 29 minutes. And then we go, reset my trip, and then we go and arrive on the Tronity charger on the other side. WLTP range would be 460 kilometers. With this all-wheel drive version and the full power, it's 3.6 seconds 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. Oh my god. Yes, I show you the car inside and what happens and how the cruise control and self-steering is while we drive. Still charging 97% and it says 10 minutes. I don't know if this is accurate, it could be faster. And there's no special info. By the way, you cannot get to your charging settings if you press something. You have to go into settings and charging, and then you could change the charge limit. You can end charging, but again, you don't see any extra info. You don't see how much kilowatt you can use. You have a limit current for AC charging and charging schedule, which is awesome, but that's it. There's nothing I can do. I can just see my state of charge and how long it is. I cannot even say what time. In the app, I'm sure I can see more, but my app doesn't work.
You have 5 new messages. Message 1. Message deleted. Message 2. Hi Michael. Message deleted. Message 3. Oh my god, I'm so sorry for calling. Message deleted. Message 4. Hi again, I'm so sorry for calling. Message deleted. Message 5.
I am on my way. No head-up display or cockpit. I'm driving 133 kilometers an hour on the speedometer. That's 130 GPS, as in most cars, by the way. I charged to 100%. It took so long. It took an hour to charge from 64 to 100%. The last 10% or 5% it charged with 8 kilowatt. Oh my god, painstakingly long. I drove so far 17.6. I love when you can see 100 meters in the trip meter. That's awesome. Average consumption high, first 10 kilometers uphill. My climate is at 22 degrees auto and AC on because it's already 26 degrees out there at 9 a.m. Oh my god, average speed also with a comma, a dot, 118.7, cool. Almost 10 minutes driven. Yeah, the first thing that I already noticed, and I knew before this drive, which is annoying. So when the self-steering only works to 130 kilometers an hour. If I want to drive 133, I either have to drive without self-steering or I have to slow down to 130 to do the self-steering. And yes, since I'm doing a range test, I have to mostly drive without self-steering then. Boo! I'm at 75% and I drove, let's say, 70 kilometers, so that's 280 kilometers. Full range consumption is 249 watt-hours per kilometer. My average speed is extremely low because I was in a traffic jam. That's freaking annoying. My average speed went from 110 down to 75 and now it's slowly going up. I doubt that it will go above 120 now. The traffic jam was for around 10-15 minutes, a few kilometers, 10 kilometers or so, and I was standing and then driving 60, 70, something like this. And by the way, correction, I was wrong. I have 19-inch wheels on this car. 245, 45 R19. I was wrong. I'm gonna turn around soon and then go back to Dickendorf and then go in the direction of Munich because there's less traffic. But the traffic overall is fine. It's not bad today. 24 degrees outside. AC still in the same settings. I'm at 50% and it was 141 kilometers, so we got 2 kilometers more of range, even though the consumption went down from 250 to 242. So we have 282 kilometers full range here down. By the way, you can see my instant consumption because it's going uphill a tiny bit. It is also high right now. Still 25 degrees. I didn't change anything. I don't drive anything anywhere. How different? Still 133 without the self-steering. And important to me, always at 50%, we drove 140 kilometers and I have 222 kilometers of range displayed. That's 80 kilometers more that I think the car can drive. That means in the 1.5 hours we've driven 140 kilometers, we've driven, this range is not going down and showing the real number. So either this is a calculated range, so it always displays at 50% 222 kilometers and it's not going with how you're driving, or it's just not good. One of those two things, but I see that on a lot of cars. It's very sad that the calculation of the 50% of the battery is not there where it should be. I already turned around and navigated back to the charger. It tells me I arrived with 5%. 4? Maybe I have to slow down. I'm driving 130 right now because I want the self-steering. It's 75 kilometers back and I have driven so far 182. So that would mean 257 kilometers. That's 25 kilometers less that we calculated range before. 25 should be 9-10% that I arrive. So we'll see, hopefully, because of the last 10 kilometers downhill. And usually my consumption here on the way back is a bit lower. I hope we have that here too. What does it say? 204, 196 watt-hours per kilometer. So maybe average consumption goes down. We are at 244 right now. So hopefully I don't have to slow down. That would be bad. Yes. How is the car driving long distance on a road trip like that? I already complained about the range display. Like I said, it says 73 kilometers to drive. I arrive with 5% and it says 150 kilometers of range. So the range display is not very good. Maybe you can switch it somewhere, like in Tesla where you can do projected or always the standard. Maybe I'm just stupid, that's okay. Loudness in here is great. At 130, totally fine. I like it. Comfortable. The suspension on the highway, it's also okay. It's not the most comfortable car, but it's fine. Steering, when you steer yourself, it's very light. I had to put it in firm, the steering, so it feels a bit better. Cruise control is Volvo typical, that it goes over the speed sometimes. When you put it in 130, sometimes when it goes downhill it goes to 131. And it also, even when you have the lowest distance, when there's a car far away but slow, even when it's 500 meters away, it's already starting to slow down. What's different here in this Volvo is that it slows down uncomfortably fast. So unnecessary. That I noticed. The self-steering, like I said, only with 130, and when you drive 135, let's say, and you turn self-steering on, it puts the cruise control into 130, slows down, and in the phase where it slows down, it doesn't steer itself yet. When it's, like I said before, at 131, because it goes downhill, self-steering is not active, even though it does cruise control, and then when it flips down to the 130, then it's on. The self-steering on the highway is totally okay. I had no problems so far. On the country road, it is a bit searching. So I feel a lot of movement, maybe more to the left, more to the right. When you steer with it or against it, it's fine with it. It doesn't complain. I like that. It recognizes my touch. When I just touch the steering wheel, I don't have to steer against it. That's also amazing. And something I also noticed with cruise control, when you accelerate, let's say I'm passing a car and I see a car coming in the back, so I drive a bit faster, 140, it turns cruise control off. So, because I accelerated too much for it or something. That's interesting. I never had that on any other car. Huh. Other than that, Google Maps is amazing. YouTube I tested is amazing, not while driving of course. Spotify, great. Google Maps is amazing. Android Automotive in this car is awesome. Again, with the calculation of the state of charge that you arrive with, I don't know if it knows that it goes uphill or downhill. I have no idea. I don't know how it calculates that. But it's done in an okay way. It's not horrible, it's not bad. And the same with time, how you arrive. We'll see at the 110 test if it knows that I'm driving 110 and not 130, because, for example, Google Maps back in the day, it always thought you're driving 130. The climate is fine to get to your things. It's a bit sad that temperature is somewhere different where you do the airflow. Why is it not in one window altogether? That's a bit sad. To get to your trip data, you always have to go to car, status, and then trip data. And you only have 2 trips. One that you can reset whenever you want, and one is that is reset either every time you start a drive or when you're charging. And I have it on charging this time. Other than that, everything in here is nice and shown very nice. The indicator is a bit weird because it's you just touch it. It doesn't stay in. But when you do it hard, it stays in and it doesn't turn off unless you steer against it like a normal one. But it's just weird that you don't have a. It's just you do it harder. But of course you have to tap as well. Already at 6%, we can do it. It's holiday season, and if you need a charging solution for your trip through Germany or through all of Europe, then check out Maingau Autostrom. With Maingau, you can charge at over 600,000 charging stalls all over Europe. You can use the app, the card, or this little chip, which is tiny and small and very easy to have with you. Check them out in the link in the description below. I arrived with 8%, drove 256 kilometers. Google Maps says it's 257, so that's good. Average consumption 236 watt hours per kilometer. Average speed is not good. So this is what we got. I'm charging now. I'm filming a charging session, and it started at 8% with 62 kilowatt or so, 63, but now finally at a higher state of charge. Where are we? 19-20%, we have 155 kilowatt. Climate is off, so it doesn't interfere with the charging solution. I'm gonna get hot in there, that's fine. When I take my data today, 24 to 26 degrees, no sun is out now, it wasn't there before. I get to 279 kilometers of full range today. We had the traffic jam, like I said, for 10 minutes or so. That's why my average speed is so low. But overall, it's a bit of a thirsty car, and I didn't accelerate fully at any time. I really, with every car, I try to have as low consumption on a range test as possible, but I want to be comfortable. So I have, of course, had the AC on, but on 22 degrees. And by the way, you have only full degrees when you do climate. There's no 21.5 or something. But it was a nice drive, was comfortable enough. It's a bit sad with the self-steering that you cannot use it above 130. If you want to follow me on Instagram, BatteryLife1, and if you want to support the channel, there's a Patreon link in the description below. And here on YouTube, there's also channel membership. But that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day and take care. Bye.